This is the State of Georgia versus Makeda Campbell. We are here for a preliminary hearing on 4 warrants. These are warrants 21W08334, numbered sequentially, through warrant 21W08337, and the state's witness will be Officer Clouseau. Officer, can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are about to provide this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. And can you please state your name for the record?
My name is Larson Plazo.
And where are you employed?
I'm employed at the Gwinnett County Police Department.
And how long have you worked there?
Approximately 2.5 years.
And are you a post-certified peace officer?
I am.
And are you familiar with the defendant, Makeda Campbell?
I am.
And are you the law enforcement officer that sought the 4 warrants that I just referenced a moment ago?
Yes.
Can you please describe for us the facts and circumstances that led to you seeking those warrants?
Yes. So on June 10th, 2021, I was dispatched to 3170 Terrace Court in reference to an aggravated domestic incident. Upon arrival, I met with a female named Justice Coleman at the Shell gas station away from the incident location. Coleman, a female, she told me that a female that she knew just pointed a gun at her and said she acted like as if she was going to buy cigarettes to get away from the home so that she can contact police. Coleman stated that when she left the home, the female was damaging everything inside the home. Coleman explained that she and her godmother, Chantel Wells, lived together, and they also lived with her godmother's girlfriend, which was identified as Makeda Campbell. They all moved into this location back in August 2020, according to Coleman. But about May of 2021, Wells and Campbell's got into some relationship issues where Campbell left the home. Coleman said that on the date of the incident, she and Wells were receiving texts from Campbell. Campbell added that she was highly upset, and the issues had stemmed from a issue in their relationship. I believe she explained to me it was cheating of some sort, and then they broke up. However, Campbell discovered that Wells had been with somebody and she was highly upset. Coleman said she was home when she heard a loud knock at the door. When she opened the door, she was stunned to discover it was Campbell. Coleman explained that Campbell pointed a black handgun and racked the slide, followed by demanding Coleman get out of the residence. Coleman said she grabbed Campbell and tried to calm her down. Next, Coleman said Campbell entered the home, began destroying everything from the kitchen up to Wells' room. Coleman said that Campbell came to the residence on a, quote, rampage. Coleman gave officers on the scene consent to enter the home to search for the weapon and observe the damages that had occurred. Other units on scene were out with Campbell, who did not have the weapon on her person at the time we were on the scene. Upon entering the residence, I observed that the kitchen cabinets were broken, the microwave was damaged on the floor. Coleman explained to me that Campbell took the bottom of the magazine of the handgun and began banging it to make dents along the wall. I observed several dents along the wall going up the staircase. It appeared to be the damages appeared to be made from the edge of an object. I located a black Springfield XDM 9mm handgun in the downstairs bathroom. I did observe that the bottom magazine of that firearm did have white paint chips on it. Based on how Coleman described the damages occurred, I ran the serial number of that firearm through our GCIC NCIC database. It returned stolen out of Forsyth County. Coleman assured units that prior to Campbell returning to the home, that there were no weapons in the house. Neither Coleman or Wells owned a firearm in the house. In the upstairs bedroom, which Coleman stated belonged to Wells, I observed clothing all over the floor, damaged furniture, a TV face down on the floor. I also observed a knife sticking through the mattress, and the bathroom, the rear bathroom bowl was completely destroyed. Coleman confirmed that all those were all damage just caused by Campbell. After speaking with Campbell, she denied she came over to cause any issue. She only admitted that she was in the area to quote unquote buy weed. Campbell stated that the resident was her home, even though she was currently not living in the home. She said she quote unquote still paid bills there. Campbell alleged that some of the property damage belonged to her and not just Wells. Campbell denied having the gun or bringing the gun into the home. Campbell stated that she knew the weapon was in the home, that they kept it in a drawer. Campbell admitted that she knew that the gun was obtained sometime in February of this year. Based on the returns that I got in the database, the gun was reported stolen on February 17th, 2021. And based on the text messages I witnessed on Campbell's and Coleman's phone, I observed Campbell told Coleman that she was extremely upset that Wells had been with someone else and that she was coming for Wells, that she would not let Wells get away with this. I also observed Campbell mentioning to Coleman that she might go to jail. I didn't know what she meant by that. After Campbell was detained, we had to impound the Infinity G37 that she came in, since she was unable to provide anybody to come pick up the vehicle in a reasonable amount of time while units was on scene. During the impound inventory, Officer Wright on scene located a second magazine to the Springfield XDM 9mm gun. The magazine was exactly identical to the magazine that was inside of the stolen weapon. It was found inside the glove compartment of the vehicle. Coleman wanted to prosecute at the time of the report, but gave officers minimal cooperation. As far as Wells, she did not want to prosecute, but the incident fell under family violence since all parties involved previously lived together. And so also I did discover, after running the criminal history of Campbell, I did discover that she was previously convicted of felonies on September 13, 2013 in the state of Pennsylvania, and also in January 15, 2020 here in Gwinnett County. So that's where the possession of the convicted felon came in.
Thank you. So let me ask you, and I missed this, you said that a second magazine for the firearm was found in a vehicle's glove compartment?
Correct.
Whose vehicle was that?
That was the vehicle that Miss Makeda Campbell came in.
Just before she was taken into custody?
Yes.
Okay. And then, so did either Miss Coleman or Miss Wells, you said they both indicated they saw Miss Campbell in possession of the firearm?
Only Coleman was present. Wells was not present on scene. Okay. Wells through like a FaceTime while Coleman was on scene.
Did Miss Coleman ever indicate that she saw Miss Campbell drop the firearm in the bathroom?
As soon as, according to Miss Coleman, as soon as Miss Campbell entered the home and started destroying the home, at some point she just left. But she did.
Miss Coleman left?
Yeah, Miss Coleman left.
Okay. And those text messages you referred to that Miss Campbell was sending, those were to Miss Coleman, correct?
Yes, they were between her and Miss Coleman.
When were those in relation, like when were those, do you have a sense of when those text messages were sent in relation to this incident?
They were sent the night of prior to the incident occurring.
Okay, that same night?
Same night, yeah.
Just, okay, and the damage that you observed in the house, you said that they indicated that all of that damage was caused by Miss Campbell?
Correct.
Do you have a sense, just based on your training and your personal experience, that did the damage that was done appear to be more than $500 worth of damage?
Yes, it was a lot of damage.
And so I know from your testimony that Miss Campbell did make statements to law enforcement officers. Let me ask you, did you have that direct face-to-face interaction with her?
Yes.
Are you able to identify her on any of the screens that you can see right now?
Yes, she's currently in the camera labeled as jail court video number 3 in the.
Is she seated next to her attorney?
Yes.
And the residence where this occurred, was that in Gwinnett County?
Yes, that is in Gwinnett County in the city of Peachtree Gardens.
Thank you, officer. That's all I have right now.
All right, Mr. Lewis?
Thank you, Judge. Let me take 2 steps back. There are 3 women that are living at the house that you responded to. Was that your understanding?
So from my understanding, currently Ms. Coleman and Wells were living at the residence at the time of the incident.
Okay.
Ms. Makeda Campbell also lived at the residence, but she left, according to Coleman, in May of this year after an incident between her and Wells.
Okay, and that's what I'm trying to understand. The relationship. Campbell and Wells were in a relationship. Was that your understanding?
Yes,
And Coleman is Wells's daughter or mother?
goddaughter.
Goddaughter. So Coleman is the younger person. Wells is the older person in the relationship between Wells and Coleman. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so Campbell and Wells are in a relationship, and Coleman is the younger relative of Wells.
Correct, my understanding.
When you first got the call, Coleman is calling you from a location away from the house, saying that a gun was pointed at her, Coleman. Is that right?
Correct.
Campbell had already been communicating with Coleman, is that right, about Wells? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, good. So Campbell was mad at Wells, but communicating with Coleman about her anger towards Wells. That's what you saw in the text messages?
Correct.
Wells ended up FaceTiming you and explaining to you what was going on in the relationship. Is that right?
No. Wells was on FaceTime with Coleman during during the time we were on scene. Wells didn't speak too much to officers. She just kind of confirmed that this was her room and this was her goddaughter and this is where she stayed at. And so,
Okay. Did you speak to Wells face to face?
no, I did not speak to her face to
Did
face.
you see another officer speak to her face to face?
Not to my.
Okay, that's fine. So Wells is on FaceTime communicating with Coleman while you and other law enforcement are communicating with Coleman. Is that right?
Correct.
Coleman is telling you that Campbell ends up coming to the location with a gun, threatening people with a gun and destroying the property. That's what Coleman said. Is that right?
Coleman said that Campbell came to the property when she opened the door. The gun was pointed at her, and
Right, and then Campbell, according to Coleman, went to destroying the property. Is that right?
correct.
Coleman was located away from the scene, I think, at a gas station when police first responded. Is that right?
Correct.
And where was Miss Campbell when law enforcement first encountered her? Was she outside?
From my understanding, I wasn't one of the initial officers that made contact with Campbell, but from my understanding, she was in the residence and she eventually came out.
Okay, nobody knows where Wells is. If she's in the house, I'm assuming she's not in the house. I'm assuming she's away from the house.
Wells was not present.
Okay.
I'm not sure where she was at, but she was not.
Okay, but she's able to identify via Coleman what's where her room is and what's damaged. Is that right? That's what Wells is doing?
Correct. She's on the phone, and Coleman is relaying to her the incident that occurred.
The vehicle that you towed when you ran the registration, does it come back to Campbell?
No, it came back to another female, and Coleman, according to Campbell, it's registered to her sister who stays out of state.
Okay, good. Did Campbell indicate that she, when you spoke to her, drove to the location in that vehicle?
Yes, that
Okay.
was what she said.
And that's the vehicle where you find the second clip that matches the gun, which has been reported stolen, which is located in Wells and Coleman's house. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And what does Campbell tell you or other law enforcement officers in your presence about how the inside of the house got damaged? What'd she say about that?
She didn't deny the damages. She just stated that was her home too, and some of those properties that were damaged.
Okay, and she also indicated she was just in the neighborhood to buy weed. Is that right?
According to her.
According to her, did she say she was at that location to buy weed or just in the neighborhood to buy weed?
In the neighborhood and area.
Okay, did she indicate what inside the house, if anything, was hers that was destroyed?
No.
Okay, and when you arrived, did she appear to be under the influence of any drugs, medicine, alcohol?
No.
Did she appear to be upset about the items that were inside that belonged to her that might have been destroyed?
I'm not sure if she was upset about the item, but she was upset through the whole incident, through the whole night.
Okay, is she cursing and doing other things? How do you describe her being upset?
She showed frustration, and occasionally she would curse, but you could tell by her body languages that she was upset.
She was upset, and did you indicate? I mean, obviously at that point she wasn't under arrest, right?
At that point, she was detained. She was not free to leave. We're still.
Okay, and that may have gotten her upset before she was told that she was detained and not free to leave. Was she upset?
She wasn't that upset, but she got more upset after she was placed in.
After she was detained, did Coleman have a chance to walk through the house and see the damage?
Yes, she did.
And did Coleman indicate that the damage that she saw inside the house was damage that wasn't there before this gun was allegedly produced by Miss Campbell?
Yes, she did.
Right. Okay, I don't have any further questions. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Hulselack?
No follow-up, Judge.
All right. Any other witnesses from the state?
No, sir.
Any witnesses from the defense?
Judge, I don't have any witnesses, but unfortunately, I gave my client the list of warrants. So could you just tell me which warrants there are? Obviously, I know there's a possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I got that one. And at least criminal damage to property in the second degree. I can figure that one out.
So we got 4 warrants. Warrant number 21W-08334. That's for aggravated assault. The other warrant is 21W-08335. That's for the criminal damage to property in the second degree. The third warrant is 21W-08336. That's for theft by receiving, felony warrant, stolen property. And then the last one is the possession of a firearm, 21W-08337.
All right, Judge, only because my client identified the car, and the car obviously has a clip that matches the gun which is stolen, and the officer sees the damage. You have Ms. Coleman saying that the gun was pointed. I think that's enough to bind over the case to Superior Court. So I'll submit it. My intention, Judge, is to file a bond motion and have the bond motion in Superior Court. So the Superior Court judge, sometime the next 14 to 24 days, will be able to address the bond and or Ms. Campbell's representation, since that's where we started today. So we'll go over to Superior Court, deal with bond and representation.
That sounds outstanding to the court here. That's the only way to handle that process, to see if she still is in need of different representation, and let the judge that has some that will ultimately have the case decide that.
Right.
For what we have to do here at this level, I am satisfied with what I heard, that the standard that I'm charged with using, preponderance of the evidence, that there is enough evidence to bind this over to that Superior Court level on the 4 warrants. So I will bind them all over as charged. As you say, we'll deal with bond and representation over in Superior Court. So she's
yes, sometime in the next 2 weeks. Thank you, Judge.